Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall to the rematch. As we've done in previous rematches videos before, we do these ones a little bit differently, right? So it's not so much a breakdown as much as it's a discussion. For those that are new, this is what we do on the rematches when we talk about the fights. If you're not new, you know how we get down. It's a conversation because I'm very curious to hear where you guys lean in this fight in the comments section. But clearly these two men don't like each other, right? Every time they get together, there's some type of antics, some type of altercation going on. These two can't wait to put hands on each other. Pause. That's just what it seems like. Let's go back to the first fight a little bit. At the time, Josh Taylor was undefeated, still had all the belts, undisputed champion. You know, he was at the height of his career, coming off of a great win against Jose Ramirez to become undisputed champion. And he looked very good on the night. Taylor is a good boxer, right? He can box on the outside pretty well, but I think he's a better inside fighter than he is a guy on the outside because he's got the size, he's got the reach, he's physical, and he knows how to use his size and physical advantages to his advantage. These two are both southpaws, so there are times when, you know, they counterbat each other a little bit. You know, the first fight looked a little sloppy at times. There were some close rounds at times. And when you watch it the first time and you go back and watch it the second time, to me, it looked like Catterall's tactics kind of surprised Josh Taylor, at least his style, because he wasn't able to hit him as cleanly as he's been able to hit other opponents before. To that point, Taylor was kind of used to having his way on his opponents. But Catterall, you know, he was doing subtle things that made himself very tricky to hit, like ducking his head and moving it towards Taylor whenever Taylor would be coming in. He would also turn to his side and kind of give like a little sloppy shoulder roll defense, still better than Ryan Garcia's shoulder roll, but it was like a little shoulder roll, and then he would duck his head into Josh Taylor's body whenever he would get close. And so even when Josh Taylor would land a shot, some of that shot, he was able to take some of the steam of it. Catterall, I'm talking about, was able to take some of the steam off some of those shots, right? Now, Taylor didn't look great himself. Like, he looked sloppy. He was trying to force the fight to me. He was trying to impose his will and kind of fighting very one-dimensional, and it really wasn't working for the most part. Josh Taylor, man, he was trying to line up that uppercut, right? Trying to set up that left hand, trying to disguise it however he could to land the shot that he wants to hit. He was going to the body at times. Other times he would have great success with Catterall. Other times Catterall would be able to limit some of the stuff that Josh Taylor was doing. Catterall had success when he would throw the fake right hand and come through with the left or come around Josh Taylor's high guard, and he was able to hit him coming in wide. Now, when Taylor got dropped, man, it was one of those shots where it didn't fully land on the side of Josh Taylor's face, but it was enough to kind of knock off that equilibrium and his balance. And Josh Taylor tried to tie up, but Catterall slightly took a step back, and the momentum carried Josh Taylor down. And he hit the canvas. Now, Taylor didn't really look buzzed to me. It didn't look like the shot really landed cleanly, but it was enough to score a knockdown for Catterall. But credit to Josh Taylor because he went back to his type of fight, being physical, trying to rough up the other guy. And, you know, he was able to get the win on the night. Now, do I think that Josh Taylor won the fight? No, I don't think so. I thought Catterall did enough to edge it, but again, I'm not a judge. You're not a judge, and Josh Taylor got the win. But at the same time, too, like, Catterall didn't help his case because he got that point deducted. And as they say, in a close fight, if you're not a champion, they're going to lean towards the champion. And that's kind of what happened on the night. Now, a lot has changed since that time. Josh Taylor isn't champion anymore, and he suffered his first loss against Teofimo Lopez on a night where he got outmatched, outclassed, and out everything on the night. Teofimo Lopez was just better on the night. He was faster. He was sharper, way more athletic. And, you know, Josh Taylor is usually the more physical, stronger guy, but on the night, Teofimo Lopez looked like he was the more physical, stronger guy on the night. So it wasn't his night, and he suffered his first loss, and he lost his title. Not to mention Josh Taylor, you know, over the years, he's been battling injuries, especially recently, right? This fight was pushed back. It was supposed to happen at an earlier date, and it was pushed back. You know, I've heard people say different things. Different sources say different things. It's, eye injury. It's a bicep injury. And I also think too, man, I thought Josh Taylor should have moved up after the Jose Ramirez fight. He should have became undisputed, right? Get the glory of it, and then relinquish the belt, because Josh Taylor is not a small 140 pounder, man. The guy is 5'10, 5'11, trying to suck down to 140. Like, that's tough to do, and it takes a lot out on the body. Catterall, on the other hand, has found his groove, right? Found back his winning ways, and he's back into winning form, beating Daryl Foley by unanimous decision, dropped him twice on his way to a wide decision victory, and then most recently fighting Jorge Linares. And though Linares put up as best as a fight as he could, man, Catterall won a wide decision victory, although I honestly felt like he should have been able to stop Linares if he would have pressed it, if he would have went for it, right? Because it seemed like he just got to a point where he was okay with how the fight was going. He was okay with boxing on the outside and just boxing his way to a victory, because he looked very accurate on the night, laser sharp, focused, dialed in on the night. He looked good, but I wanted to see him push the boundary a little bit and take that risk and find a way to get the stoppage, because, he did have him hurt a couple times in that fight, and he could have finished it off. But nonetheless, it was a good win, a good performance against a quality name like Jorge Linares, even though Linares was a little bit older. Now, in this fight, he's going to be gunning for that knockout against Josh Taylor, partially because, man, the last time that they fought, the scorecards weren't very kind to Jack Catterall, and they favored Josh Taylor. But he knows he also can't force the fight and come in too reckless, because even though they may not like each other, man, I think he respects what Josh Taylor can do inside of the ring. I'm sure Catterall, he will be fighting this fight as if it's a championship fight, as if there's a belt on the line, even though there isn't a belt on the line. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds. So who wins? To me, man, the timing is right for Catterall when you look at the full picture of this fight. Josh Taylor is coming off of a loss. He's been battling injuries, and who knows to the extent of those injuries, what his training and preparation has been like. Of course, he's going to say all of the right things leading up to it, because you are not supposed to show any type of weakness, any type of inconsistencies in your training when you're leading up to a fight. Everything is good and smooth sailing. At least that's what you're supposed to say. We'll see what he looks like on the night. His fight against Teofimo Lopez, man, a fight like that can be a little demoralizing, right? The smaller man coming up a division and kind of taking it to you, that messes with the person's psyche at times, right? And Josh Taylor has been in some wars over the years. Catterall hasn't really had the type of wars that a Josh Taylor has had so far, but at the same time, Josh Taylor's a veteran, man. He's a very skillful fighter, and he can find a way how to get it done. He can dig deep if he needs to and find a way to get it done. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if Josh Taylor won the fight, and I don't think it should be a surprise for either of you, because I'm sure he's the favorite coming into this fight as well, too, which gives them the extra love, the extra attention from the judging standpoint, if it's a close fight again. I think this is going to be another close fight. As much as they talk about knocking each other out, man, I think this fight goes the distance. I think this fight could play similarly how it did like in the first fight. That wouldn't be surprising either. But this time around, man, I lean Catterall to win this fight. I think he wins this fight by some type of split decision. Just because of what I said at the beginning, Taylor at 140 pounds now, he might have run his course, right? He might have run his course sticking around this long, coming back with all of the injuries as well, too, coming off of a loss. Timing sometimes plays a big part, man. I mean, Josh Taylor could come in and completely clean out Jack Catterall as well, too. And Catterall could come in and do the same thing. But I think this fight plays out similarly to how it did in the first fight. But this time, I think Jack Catterall does enough to get the win and comes out on top. But it should not be a surprise if Josh Taylor wins this fight. I think it's a close fight. But I'm leaning towards Jack Catterall in this rematch. So that's my thoughts. Would love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think wins this fight? How do you have it going? Let me know in the comment section below. Shout out to all the members holding down the membership section, man. I appreciate each of you. I don't get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, then I hope you consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.